Hey, what's up? Sorry for the delay between this video and the last video. The weather out here in Ontario got a bit crazy. It got really cold, it snowed. I had to dig my snowblower out of the backyard, do a bunch of crap that wasn't working on my truck, but now it's 7 degrees, so I'm back out in the garage finishing up some stuff. I just actually finished up bolting up my throttle body bracket to my Beltack intake manifold, which was on top of the 4.8 LS that I showed you guys last video. This video is going to be the front end of the truck. So I'm going to talk for a little bit before I show you guys the front end, but basically the front end of this truck comes from a G-body, which in this case is a Cutlass. For those of you who don't know, G-bodies are wider versions of S10 chassis, so that allowed me to really nerd out on my S10 stuff. If you know me, you know I'm big on S10 stuff, so it was kind of cool to be able to put some of that knowledge, which would be otherwise useless, into this truck. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you guys what we got going on. So the first thing here, and the S10 guys will appreciate this, this is the 98 Plus Blazer brake setup that is a larger rotor, 2 piston caliper, and a better hub. This setup is, you know, it's a pretty good budget-friendly big brake setup, and I'm using a Belltech spindle in the front here, M Sport discs and M Sport pads that I got through Performance Improvements, and it was a pretty good setup. Super hard to find here in Canada because we didn't get a lot of two-wheel drive 98 Plus Blazers. It has to be 98 Plus for whatever reason. They changed everything up, but anyway, cheap big brake setup. If I really wanted to, I could run an adapter and then I could run Corvette calipers, but I'm probably not going to do that right now. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is the sort of dehumped and plated lower control arms. Jeff did this. And then that's an RE-7 bag, and that's just going to allow me to sort of air out and ride right. You'll also notice here that I have a Spoon Performance sway bar end link that's hinged at the bottom here. This is just so that when I ride low and air doesn't break the sway bar end link, which is a common problem on bagged S10s. And the next thing that I sort of did also is a common problem on bagged S10. These are Michigan Metal Works notchless sway bar, or notchless tie rods, and they'll just help me be able to lay out on the 28.5-inch tire that I'm planning on running on this truck. Moving up, you'll see that I have here my Airlift 3H ride height sensor. It's mounted via brackets I got from Kevin at Air Assisted, and a locking collar that I got off Amazon, and I just drilled and tapped it. I've actually remounted these a couple of times. I'm not sure if this is my final position, but this is the final one that I'm going to do some tests on just to see how I like things, and then I might sort of switch things up. You'll usually actually see this bracket and sensor flipped around, but I mounted it this way right now just so I could figure a few things out based on the holes that I drilled and tapped from my previous configuration, which put things way too close in here, and I didn't end up liking it after staring at it for a couple of months. So the ride height sensors are attached to upper control arms from All-Star for Performance. I also got these from Performance Improvements. They're circle track arms. They're tubular. They're pretty awesome. They're dirt cheap. And I think I'm running 2 right side arms, which are 8 inches in length versus the 8.5, which is one of the arms. Circle track cars go in circles, so one arm is longer. In them, I have I have Pro Forge Super Travel upper ball joints. These are basically designed to be at a better angle when you ride really low. Again, I don't want this thing to ride like a bag of hammers, so I spent a lot of time just making sure that everything will be at happy angles when I ride low. Last thing I'm going to end off with is my Beltack Street Performance shock that, again, I got this for Performance Improvements. It's mounted via a shock mount that we made at Tailored Customs, and then I notched the frame and sucked the shock in there so I can steer lock to lock. That was a suggestion from actually Jason Thorbeck at Suicide Doors, who actually didn't sell me his kit but instead told me to do this. So I want to give him a big shout out because, you know, there's not a lot of people who will avoid a sale to tell you to do something yourself and do it a little bit better, but Jason did, so that was pretty awesome of him. I did pick up his lower shock mount though, just so that when I do turn, if the tire does come into contact with the shock or anything, it's nice and round here and I won't blow anything out. That's the front end of my truck in a nutshell. If you guys have any sort of questions about anything else, shoot me a comment, and I will be back with the next video where I'll probably end up doing the back half. All right, see you guys later.